Hello, Alien here with a quick Nikke video where I basically jump in blind into solo raid, see a little bit what it's all about, do 3 attempts, and maybe view some things as to how people that enjoy playing Snow White can deal with Mother Whale while we're doing that. So we're gonna bring the usual suspects for this. We're gonna bring the usual suspects, see how it goes in the mock battle, adjust, and then maybe do the 3 attempts. So I'm going in blind. The only thing I know is something that my union members friends told me, which is that you basically get 3 attempts to kill the boss, and each time it gets harder. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so Mother Whale is gonna throw bombs. Okay, it's gonna be interesting. So what are those? There are raptors as well, okay. And that's Mother Whale down on stage 1, I guess. I mean, in the mock attempt. Okay, so how much? It has 16 million HP. Okay, it should be doable. Not exactly a great practice session, but let's just jump into it with that team. See how that goes. I have to think of it this way though. If I go with that team, what would be my next team, right? So the next team would probably be another combination of the usual suspects. So something like leader, maybe I'll put something like a Senti. And then maybe Haran, Maxwell, Private. If I do end up going Maxwell though, I could swap these. And maybe I could just swap this around. This could be team 2. We'll have to see on the next stage of difficulty. And for team 3, I could just actually bring... Who could I bring? I could bring Laplace. And I could bring... Oh, I could actually do something like Isabel. Yeah, I could do something like Isabel, Laplace, Noise or something. A more defensive oriented team. Yeah, it could work. So these could be 3 teams. We'll have to do some testing though. 16 million damage I need to do, so I'm not too worried. Not too worried, so I may as well just start with one of the quote-unquote weaker teams and see how that goes. I saw that Mother Whale also pops a circular shield, so Pierce may actually be a good idea here. I'll have to do some extra testing. So, man, the animation of Mother Whale. They're always on point with these boss intros, aren't they? Okay, so... Cooldown reduction. Okay, so that's the core broken. That's the parts broken. Okay, so now we're getting the raptors. Maybe I should have used the Haran burst. Second, but that's fine. Okay, so it summons a lot of little raptors from what I'm seeing. I haven't really reached Mother Whale in the main story, so I don't know exactly what Mother Whale does, as I tend to avoid spoilers. Okay, so it does something similar judging by how it moved to how Stormbringer does. That's it. Is that a new type of interruption circle that I haven't seen yet? Could be interesting to find. Okay, so there's a lot of small raptors to deal with. Oh, the rewards is batteries. Okay, that's interesting. So it summons a lot of small raptors, so maybe some mix of priority damage and AoE will work better. Okay, so that's Mother Whale stage 1. Okay, so the battles is 5 battles. Does that mean that I get 5 attempts actually? Oh, maybe I misunderstood what they were telling me. So for example, if I wanted to have a team number 2, I'd probably... Oh, T would probably be good here, wouldn't she? Maybe Drake? And then team 3, team 5. What would I put for team 5? Well, first I need to figure out the burst 1 rotation. Burst 1. How long is the cooldown of this? It's a 20-second burst time. Oh, that could work. We could work with this. Then burst 2. Burst 2, we could probably work with something like Viper. Or maybe I could work actually with Quincy instead, because of her healing. Yeah, healing on the 20-second cooldown, that's better. And then for burst 3... there's a lot of parts, so Vesti could be good. Brid's gimmick is really annoying to deal with, so we're gonna avoid that. We could put a Maiden, and we could put a Guillotine, I guess. And that would be the 5th team. It's 40 million damage to deal, so I'm not too worried about hitting that. We can just experiment for now. So, okay, so let's try this team that I just slapped together. See if it will work for higher difficulties. Get some idea of the performance. You can learn a lot of things about this. Okay. So we get the taunt as soon as we do the full burst, so I need to be careful that she doesn't die. Okay. So here is where we start needing AoE, although right now it's not a big issue. So now we get Guillotine's burst out. Okay. Oh, so it gives defense as well to the flying raptors. Okay, that's interesting. Funnily enough, Vesti used to be one of my first Nikkes. Maybe Vesti bursting was a bad idea here. I need to figure out what I want to do. Whoops. There comes the burst wind thingy. It does have a lot of parts, so could make use of that. So what are these? Are those like interruption circles? Okay, we're gonna use the Kotodama here. Okay, so it summons a new set of raptors as well. And these are actually getting stronger and stronger. Hopefully this won't kill... Okay, so maybe if they just come to shoot, maybe it's better to leave them be, huh? Okay, so we go with the Vesti burst here. This team feels way too weak for future references. This does feel quite weak. Okay, so it's gonna call probably, yeah, a bunch of raptures. Doesn't seem like the blue thing does damage though, which is interesting. I thought for sure it would be some form of AoE or something. So we're gonna use the more... Okay, so it does do some damage occasionally. Okay, this team felt a little bit weak. Might need some tweaking. I don't feel like Guillotine was pulling her weight, or Vesti either. I mean, Vesti did, but Guillotine maybe was not pulling her weight, and Ludmilla feels very risky the more I think about it. So that's gonna be something to think about. Again, batteries as a bonus. Really, don't forget to do as much of the solo raid as possible and try to push it as far as possible, because those batteries are really important to get. Okay. Since this channel is a little bit more known for Snow White shenanigans, why don't we do a full-blown Snow White team for the last one? So what I need for a full-blown Snow White team is Polybuff, of course Snow White, Maxwell, and because I personally don't like waiting for the burst 2 to come around for Snow White, we're gonna use another burst 2 since Poly's is 42nd. The thing is to figure out which one though. Do I want CDR? Cooldown of burst skill, cooldown of burst skill, cooldown of burst skill. Attack for 5 seconds only though. This doesn't buff for that long. What could we use? I mean, I think she gives a 10-second debuff, doesn't she? Yeah, defense down for 10 seconds. So let's go with Senti. Senti should work. Let's just have some fun with a big Snow White burst. I could also, instead of using Dorothy, actually for an even bigger Snow White burst, because that's what we're aiming for. Something like this. Maxwell gives charge speed, so I could go for something like a Private instead. But full charge damage 300%. But it affects self. 2 allies with the highest attack increased by 35% attack. That's good enough. Also gives whips. I did not mean to press that twice. Whoops. Let's go back in here. That was silly of me. Okay. So, let's just give this Snow White comp a fun try. There's a lot of AoE though, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. Hopefully it won't bite me too much, but it's a terrible idea to go full Snow White comp unless your Snow White is very strong, so I think it's best to use AoEs to compensate, but we're just going for a fun one here. Poly Burst is gonna give a massive amount of... And there we go, that's the burst. Did it burst as much as I anticipated initially, huh? Okay, so now we kill all these small raptors to get the shield offline. sniper rapture through as well. What's really nice about Snow White is the fact that she's not a sniper, so you can actually mow down these tiny raptors and then go back to a big burst. Okay, so we shield here. We get another big burst here. Big boy burst. Okay, so we try to destroy the parts. So my guess is that in higher difficulties you just don't bother with these raptors and you just wait for this to happen. Because once they shoot, they seem to disappear. Yeah, there we go. I'm guessing D might actually be good here because of the parts damage that she brings and the ability to bring that burst almost instantly. I could try to look for some Snow White angles as well. I believe it's possible to clip these things, so we take cover here. Oh, never mind. There should be, like, let's try with Maxwell here. Yeah, there we go. So it is possible to clip the parts on the left with the body and the core with the body. It is possible. So yeah, Snow White dealing 30.9 million damage here because Snow White comp, right? And killing the boss. There's probably a lot of angles potential. I know in some of my streams and videos where I actually do have the audio, I talk about angles and double clipping, but that's pretty important with Snow White. Anyways, that was solo raid. Quite interesting, to be honest. This is gonna be pretty interesting to do and to progress, because I assume that it's going to scale up quite a bit. We already can tell with the Stormbringer that some of these challenges will have some pretty funny scaling. So this will be quite interesting. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll try to make some more videos about Mother Whale solo raid as the difficulty progresses and spikes, to give like some updates on where I'm at, and so you can maybe see some tricks here and there. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video.